Alex had been working late again, the faint hum of the colony's power generators filling his small room. He leaned over the table, adjusting a delicate circuit on a communication relay, his fingers moving with practiced precision. The light from the lamp cast long shadows across the metal walls, and the only sound besides the hum was the occasional beep of a monitor. Life on this edge-of-space colony was quiet, sometimes too quiet, but Alex had learned to find comfort in the stillness. He rubbed his eyes, leaning back, and glanced at the window. Outside, the twin moons of the planet hung low over the jagged landscape, their pale glow illuminating the dusty plains. Most of the colony had already gone to sleep, leaving only the night shift workers or the occasional engineer like him to tend the machinery. Alex liked the solitude. It let him think clearly, focus on problems, and experiment freely without distractions. But tonight, the quiet felt different. There was a subtle vibration in the air, almost like a pulse, that made him frown. At first, he thought it was a minor tremor, something common on the planet, but the pattern was too regular, too deliberate. He froze, listening. A soft shimmer appeared at the corner of his room. It was faint at first, like a trick of the light, but it grew steadily brighter. Alex's heart skipped a beat. He had read reports of alien species occasionally visiting human colonies, but direct contact in private quarters was unusual, to say the least. A figure materialized before him, graceful and fluid, with a form that suggested both strength and elegance. She did not speak in words, but Alex somehow understood her presence as an urgent plea. Her skin shimmered faintly in the lamplight, a soft, iridescent glow, and her eyes were like twin pools of liquid silver. She was beautiful, undeniably, but there was a sense of purpose in her every movement that told Alex she was here for more than a casual visit. Alex rubbed his eyes again. "Am I dreaming?" he muttered, though his voice sounded small and uncertain in the vast quiet of the room. The alien woman tilted her head slightly, studying him, and then made a gentle gesture toward a small device on his table. Alex's fingers twitched. It was one of his own prototypes, a universal signal amplifier designed to detect and decode communications from unknown sources. He hadn't expected anyone, human or otherwise, to use it this way, let alone someone standing right in front of him. You need help?" he asked cautiously. The woman's eyes flickered with what Alex interpreted as affirmation. She moved closer, her steps soundless on the metal floor. He could feel an unusual warmth, not from her body directly, but from the energy she seemed to carry, a subtle hum that resonated through his chest. "You're from here?" he asked, pointing to himself. Her gesture was patient, deliberate. She reached out and lightly touched the amplifier. It glowed briefly under her touch, responding in ways Alex had never programmed. Then she looked at him, and he understood. She needed someone human to fix something, something she could not repair herself. Alex swallowed hard. "I guess I can try," he said. There was no hesitation, only a rising sense of responsibility. Humans were underestimated across the galaxy, often thought weaker or less capable than other species, but Alex had always known that ingenuity, determination, and courage could often compensate for size, strength, or advanced technology. The alien studied him a moment longer before stepping back. She raised a hand in what seemed like a gesture of trust. Then she produced a small, complex device from a pouch at her side. It was unlike any technology Alex had ever seen. It pulsed with an inner light and shifted in shape subtly, as if alive. "I don't even know where to start," Alex admitted, his fingers hovering uncertainly above the device. The woman's eyes softened. She placed her hand over his briefly, guiding his movements. Alex felt a sudden clarity, a connection that allowed him to understand the device's structure in a way he never could have on his own. It was as though she could communicate without words, transferring knowledge through touch and intuition. Hours passed with Alex working under her subtle guidance. The device responded to every adjustment he made, the light pulsing steadily now, indicating progress. Between the hum of machinery and the soft glow of the device, a rhythm developed. Alex began to appreciate the presence of the alien woman. She was calm, patient, and precise. Her species might have been advanced, but she clearly respected human skill, and that respect made Alex feel capable in ways he hadn't felt before. At one point, the device emitted a strange series of tones, a language of light and sound. Alex paused, unsure what it meant. The woman placed her hand lightly on the console, and the device stilled, the tones stopping immediately. She tilted her head toward him as if to say, "Yes, that's right." A smile flickered across her face, a small gesture that was surprisingly human in its warmth. Alex laughed softly, the tension of the long night easing. "I didn't know I'd be doing alien tech repairs tonight," he said. Her eyes sparkled at the humor, a brief moment of levity in the intense focus of their task. Then she motioned toward the window. Alex followed her gaze and noticed a faint glow moving across the colony outskirts. A patrol drone, or something more sinister? His stomach tightened. Whatever was coming, it was heading straight for them. He glanced back at her. "We need to finish this faster," he said, a sense of urgency creeping into his voice. She nodded subtly and moved closer, her hand guiding his movements again. Together, they worked in near-perfect synchronization. Alex's practical engineering knowledge, combined with her intuitive understanding of the device, created results neither could have achieved alone. The light within the device grew steady, a soft pulse that matched their synchronized effort. Suddenly, a loud thud echoed from the corridor outside his room. Alex froze, holding his breath. The alien woman's eyes narrowed slightly, alert and tense. They had been careful, but someone, or something, was approaching. "Stay calm," he whispered. He grabbed a portable toolkit and subtly positioned it as a defensive measure. The door slid open just a crack, and a figure peeked in. It was another member of her species, a scout perhaps, but they did not enter. Instead, they looked at her, nodded, and retreated. The tension eased slightly. Whatever threat was outside, it was aware of her presence, and for now, it seemed to respect it. Alex exhaled slowly. "That could have been worse," he muttered. The woman glanced at him, a faint gesture of thanks. She was clearly impressed with how calmly he had handled the interruption. That thought made Alex feel a small surge of pride. Humans were underestimated in the galaxy, but in moments like this, their courage and resourcefulness shone brightest. By the time the first light of the planet's twin moons faded with the approaching dawn, the device was fully operational. Alex had never felt such a sense of accomplishment. The alien woman stepped back, her form glowing faintly in satisfaction. She gestured toward the device, then toward herself. And Alex understood. The mission was complete. "Thank you," he said softly, still processing the intensity of the night. She inclined her head, acknowledging him. Then, in a gesture he would not forget, she placed a small, crystalline object on the table. It shimmered with colors he had no names for. "This is yours," he realized. "A token?" The alien smiled faintly, something that conveyed more than words ever could. It was trust, respect, and the beginning of a bond between two species. Alex knew that humans were not alone in the galaxy, and that they had something valuable to offer: ingenuity, courage, and heart. As she moved toward the door, she paused and looked back at him. Her eyes held a question, a silent invitation to join her on something larger than the colony, larger than any mission he had ever imagined. Alex's mind raced. There were dangers, yes, but also discoveries, alliances, and adventures beyond anything he had known. He nodded slowly, a decision forming. He didn't know where this path would lead, but he understood one thing clearly. Humans had a role to play in the galaxy, and perhaps, with courage and cleverness, they could earn the respect of even the most advanced species. The alien woman slipped out into the corridor, her form fading from view, but leaving a lingering sense of purpose behind. Alex stared after her, heart pounding with excitement and anticipation. He looked down at the crystalline object, turning it over in his hands. It was more than a gift. It was a symbol, a challenge, and a promise. Somewhere out there, across the stars, the human race had a chance to prove itself in ways no one had imagined. And Alex was ready to take that first step. He returned to his table, already thinking about the modifications and repairs he would need to make for the next encounter. Humans were underestimated, yes, but underestimated humans often surprised everyone. And tonight, he had done exactly that. The next morning, the colony seemed quieter than usual, but Alex could not shake the feeling that something had changed. The night had been strange, filled with light, energy, and the presence of the alien woman, Lyra. Her visit had been urgent, yet respectful, and it left him with a lingering sense of excitement and curiosity. He examined the crystalline object she had left behind. It shimmered with colors he could not name, pulsing faintly as if alive. It was more than a gift. It was a signal, a key, and perhaps a warning. Alex spent the morning reviewing the device he had repaired. It was unlike anything he had seen before. The light it emitted seemed to respond to his thoughts, shifting patterns when he focused on different functions. He realized that Lyra had not just trusted him with her technology, she had challenged him to understand it in his own way. Humans were often underestimated, but moments like this proved that ingenuity and adaptability could bridge even the greatest gaps between species. A soft knock on his door made him jump. He set the crystalline object down and opened the door to find one of the colony's patrol robots waiting. Its mechanical voice was calm but firm. "Engineer Alex, there is a vessel waiting for you at the eastern docking bay. It requests your immediate attention." Alex frowned. "A vessel? Who?" He stopped. The message was unsigned, but he had a strong suspicion. Lyra. He grabbed his jacket and headed toward the docking bay, moving quickly but cautiously. The bay doors opened with a hiss, revealing a sleek alien ship resting against the platform. Its surface was smooth and metallic, reflecting the morning sun in strange, shifting patterns. Lyra stood near the entrance, her posture calm but alert. When she saw him, her eyes flickered with recognition and relief. "You're early," she said, her voice musical and soft, yet carrying authority. "I didn't want to waste any time," Alex replied. He stepped closer, examining the ship. "So, what's the mission?" Lyra gestured toward the horizon. Beyond the colony, the planet's surface stretched into harsh terrain, dotted with jagged rocks and deep craters. "Our people are in danger," she explained. "A rival faction has discovered our location. They want the technology I carry. We cannot defend it alone. We need humans, your kind, to help." Alex's chest tightened. Humans were often underestimated, yes, but in situations like this, their resourcefulness could turn the tide. He nodded. "Then let's get started. Show me what you need me to do." They boarded the ship together. Inside, the controls were unlike anything Alex had ever seen. Panels shimmered with light, and symbols shifted as he moved his hands across them. Lyra guided him, but she allowed him to experiment, to understand the ship's systems through observation and intuition. It was a partnership, a blending of human cleverness and alien experience. As they prepared for departure, the warning lights on the ship flickered. Alex glanced at the displays, noting subtle energy spikes approaching from the planet's edge. "They're coming," he said. They're not going to wait. Lyra's eyes narrowed, her hands moving in graceful motions across the control panel. We must leave now. There is no time for hesitation. The engines roared to life, a deep hum vibrating through the floor beneath them. The ship lifted effortlessly, moving away from the colony with speed that made Alex's stomach flutter. Outside, the terrain fell away, replaced by the endless expanse of space. "We're not alone," Lyra said, pointing toward a cluster of ships moving in formation behind them. The rival faction had detected them, and they were fast approaching. Alex's mind raced. He needed to think, to act, to use every bit of human ingenuity at his disposal. "Do you have weapons?" he asked. Lyra shook her head. "Direct confrontation is dangerous. We survive by outsmarting them, not fighting them head-on." Alex smiled faintly. That was exactly the kind of problem humans excelled at solving. He scanned the control panel, noting patterns in the enemy ship's approach. "We can use their speed against them. If I reroute the energy from the main engines to the lateral thrusters, we can make sudden directional shifts. They'll overshoot, and we can escape." Lyra raised an eyebrow. "Your plan is risky, but it could work. Proceed." Hands moving quickly, Alex adjusted the energy distribution. The ship responded immediately, shifting its trajectory in sharp, unexpected arcs. The pursuing ships struggled to match the sudden movements, overshooting and colliding with debris fields Alex had calculated in advance. Lyra's eyes widened in admiration. "You're kind. You are clever." Alex chuckled. "We try our best." For hours, they navigated through asteroid fields, narrow canyons, and debris clusters, evading the rival ships. Every move required precision, cooperation, and trust. Lyra's alien intuition, combined with Alex's human logic, created a rhythm, a dance of survival that neither species could have managed alone. Finally, they reached a remote space station orbiting a nearby moon. It was abandoned, but fully operational, perfect for hiding and repairing the ship. Lyra guided the vessel inside, and they landed safely. Alex exhaled, feeling the tension drain from his body. "Impressive work," Lyra said. "Your skill saved us." Alex shook his head, feeling modest. "We saved each other." As they worked to repair the minor damage the ship had sustained during the chase, Lyra shared more about her species. They were explorers, researchers, and guardians of ancient technology that rival factions sought for their own power. Humans, though young and underestimated, had qualities that her people respected deeply: curiosity, adaptability, and courage under pressure. Alex listened intently, fascinated by the stories. He realized that humans had potential far beyond what most aliens gave them credit for. And in this moment, working side by side with Lyra, he saw the possibilities of interstellar collaboration, of bridging gaps between species through trust, ingenuity, and shared goals. Night fell on the station, and the soft glow of distant stars filled the observation deck. Alex and Lyra stood side by side, watching the expanse of space. She turned to him, her expression unreadable for a moment, then softened. "You have changed my perspective," she said. "I believed only my kind could solve these problems, but you humans, you are remarkable." Alex felt a warm sense of pride. "I guess we do have our moments," he replied with a small smile. Lyra's eyes glimmered with something he could not name: admiration, gratitude, perhaps even respect. "There are more challenges ahead," she said. "Danger that even we cannot face alone. But with you, I feel hopeful." Alex nodded, understanding the weight of her words. He had never imagined that a simple engineer from a small human colony could have such an impact on an interstellar mission. Yet here he was, trusted by one of the most advanced alien species, navigating dangers, solving problems, and proving that humans were capable of far more than anyone had given them credit for. Over the following days, Alex and Lyra worked together to enhance the ship's systems, combining human innovation with alien technology. They developed clever defensive mechanisms, subtle yet effective, designed to confuse and mislead the enemy. Every adjustment, every small improvement, made the ship stronger, more resilient, and more capable. One evening, as they tested a new system, a warning light flashed. A small fleet of enemy ships had located the station. They were faster, more numerous, and more aggressive. Alex felt a surge of determination. Humans were underestimated, yes, but they thrived under pressure, adapting quickly to unexpected threats. Lyra's hands moved over the controls with practiced grace, and Alex followed her lead, adjusting energy flows, rerouting power, and setting traps for the enemy. The battle that followed was tense, filled with rapid maneuvers, calculated risks, and sharp thinking. Alex's human intuition allowed them to anticipate the enemy's moves, while Lyra's knowledge of advanced alien technology provided the tools to survive. Hours later, the enemy ships retreated, unable to counter the clever strategies of the human-alien duo. Alex leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. "We did it," he said, a broad smile on his face. Lyra turned to him, eyes shining with respect. "We did. And you, human, proved why your kind is valued in ways many do not see." Alex felt a swell of pride. He had always believed in human potential, in ingenuity, and in courage. And now he had evidence that even the most advanced species could recognize it. He realized that humans had a place among the stars, a role that required not just strength or technology, but creativity, quick thinking, and the ability to rise to challenges. In the quiet that followed, they shared a moment of understanding, a bond forged through trust, cooperation, and mutual respect. Lyra's presence was no longer just a mystery or a plea for help. It was a partnership, a bridge between species, and a promise of future adventures. Alex looked at the crystalline object again, now understanding its full meaning. It was not just a token, it was a challenge, an invitation, and a reminder that humans could achieve remarkable things. With courage, intelligence, and determination, they could rise to meet any challenge, no matter how impossible it seemed. As they prepared to depart from the station, Alex felt a sense of purpose he had never known. Humans were underestimated. Yes, but underestimated humans often surprised everyone. And tonight, alongside Lyra, he had proven that, once again. The stars stretched endlessly before them, filled with unknown dangers, discoveries, and adventures. Alex gripped the controls, ready to face whatever came next, confident that humans had a unique place in the galaxy, a place where courage, intelligence, and ingenuity mattered more than anyone had ever imagined. Lyra glanced at him, her expression warm and encouraging. "Are you ready for the next journey?" she asked. Alex smiled, feeling the thrill of adventure in his chest. "I've never been more ready." The ship accelerated into the void, leaving the station behind. Together, human and alien, they sailed among the stars, ready to face challenges, explore new worlds, and prove that the ingenuity of humans could shine brighter than even the most advanced civilizations had ever imagined.